In this video, we're going to be taking a deeper dive or a deeper look at the Scaled Reports settings panel in the new Scaled Reports workflow that is being published in the 1.8 version of VividCharts. So we'll go to Scaled Reports up here in the top navigation. We'll select one of these. We'll open the Edit panel on our Scaled Report itself. I have the ability to do this because I have edit access on this Scaled Report, and I have the builder role in VividCharts. So if you're not seeing this edit panel, but you think you should, you might want to take a look at the permissions. So we'll go into here in the blueprint. We see our canvas. And again, this is the panel that we're going to be taking a deeper look at. So the first piece of information we get is process area. We selected this when we first generated or when we first created this scaled report. And that gives us a bunch of information downstream, like the parent table, the records that were available to select here, the table mapping defaults, and the card styles. So lots of things downstream based on this initial selection of a process area. Parent table is connected to that. The first piece of information that we can actually change here in this settings panel is the record. And the reason for this is because the scaled report mechanism in general always keys off of a single record. So you can draw charts that are on different records on the canvas, but ultimately all of those have to map back to just a single record. Doesn't matter what table it's on, it will always draw according to one record. So we can set that here so that we get the preview where our charts that we draw will point back to this record. And so we can see that in action. If we just take note of automated remediation is the record that we've set in our scaled report setting. If we go to this here, this is a field selector chart. And that one we know takes a record as a parameter. And here it is. So it takes a record and it has inherited the record that we've set over here. Now, if we wanted to change that, we could. If we wanted to preview what this report would look like according to a different record, we could change that. Let's choose that one. Now we do have to save our progress here for this to update and for the canvas to redraw, but we can do that. And here it is. It's all keyed off of now that record that we've changed. So moving down here, the secondary table is a similar kind of thing for project status reporting in particular. This basically is a way for us to say, if you want to go get a project status, go get the most recent one. You can always change this again if you need to, but we'll default to the most recent project status. Reports to be generated. This determines which records have a scaled report generated. So again, one record equals one scaled report. We can change the conditions here. We can filter this according to any way we want. The field of the PM project table will be available here because that is our parent table as defined by the process area. Table mapping, this tells us how other tables, again, map back to the PM project table and the sysid of the records that we've defined up here. So these are defaults that we've set. We think they're good ones, but if at any time you need to change how one table maps back to the PM project table, we have the flexibility to do that. So if you want to use the defaults here, this looks like a lot, but if you want to use the defaults here, you don't have to make any changes here to generate a set of scaled reports. The format, you can choose slide deck or tab. Tab just means that if you have multiple slides, there will be little tabs up here at the top of the canvas that you can use to navigate in addition to the arrows on your keyboard. Refresh frequency on demand means somebody will have to manually click a refresh button, which can be fine, or you can have it refresh daily if you need that, if you need a kind of a more up-to-date look at the data. And then the card style, there's a bunch of different options here that with slightly different information. For each one of these, you can click on the little eyeball here and get a glimpse of a preview of how those cards will appear. And so there's some different formattings. You can get a 3-column view, a 1-column view, and then I think there's even a timeline version over here. And with that, we are ready to generate, and we are well on our way to automating our operational reporting with VividCharts. We'll click Scale Reports, and we're good.